Hello everybody, welcome. I'm Kai. I wanted to start making videos out here and just to change things up. I was making videos in Spanish and at home and putting the background or whatever, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's summer, so it's beautiful out here. So I thought it'd be a good idea to make videos out here. And I wanted to start making videos in English because most of my videos are in Spanish. Now, the idea of this video is to talk about a radical transformation, and I think it's very apropos to the situation that is happening right now. Let me hold on to this because it's a little breezy. So, if he asks people about the situation, very likely they're gonna tell you that everything is backwards. If you ask them about education per se, they will tell you that education is backwards because teachers are quitting everywhere. I know they're quitting. I've seen it. Of course they're quitting because kids are, you and I know how they're behaving, so I'm not gonna go through all of that. And whose fault is it? Obviously, it's not just the parents, it's the whole culture, the whole society. Because parents have to work. And a lot of those kids are in one parent household. Parents have to work, and who raises your kid but the phone and the TV? So they grow up with other people and videos and things telling them how they're supposed to be. Hence, got a little squirrel visiting. The reason why there's so many stupid kids now, too many. If we see the health situation, we can notice that before doctors were there to help us. Now we are the one making doctors rich and richer. It's not even the doctor's fault. It's the pharmaceuticals, and we know that. Yet we are so easily convinced that we continue to eat badly and to get sick and sicker and making these people rich and richer. And even if we tell people to stop doing that, they will fight you because they rather be obese and overweight and slow and sick than do something for their own life, something that is gonna help them. If we see government too, we can notice that government is not there really to help us. They're there to get rich and richer. And in the meantime, people are suffering, and they will continue to suffer because nobody wants to come out of that. Now, let me answer this. Have you gone to church? I'm not going to talk about church necessarily. I'm just going to mention something real quick. If you ever been to church, I ask you, why did you or do you go to church? I'm pretty sure it's two reasons. Maybe you haven't paid attention to that, but I'm going to give you the reasons, and we can open the discussion respectfully, obviously. The number one reason is you continue to go to church, or you went to church because you were told that if you don't go to church, you're gonna go to hell because God is gonna punish you, and if you don't do what God says, you're gonna go to hell. With most of the people in the Western society, we've been raised that way in one way or another. It's kind of messed up to have a God like that if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna punish you, but yet you have free will. Makes no sense. But anyways, the other reason is the happiness and peacefulness forever. Church, the Buddhist, the Zoroastrian, everybody sell you peace and love on the other side, in heaven, in nirvana, wherever, everywhere but here. Now I say, does that make sense? Things are pretty messed up as they are right now. So does it make sense to work for that instead of making that peacefulness and that happiness here? Now, how do we do that? Now, let me ask you, let me backtrack a little bit. So things are going backwards. Have you noticed that? What if we are the one that are backwards? And the reason I ask that is because we tend to see things in one direction, always. And we say things are supposed to be going this way. But what if we are the one backwards? And how can we be the one backwards? We can be the one backwards when we don't understand necessarily that we are just looking at a movie. This is just a movie. I've said before in some videos in Spanish that your thoughts are not real, and there's no way in heaven that you can say otherwise. You're gonna be using a thought to explain the thought that I just gave you. If you see outside, you're not gonna find your thoughts anywhere outside. If I open your head and take your brain out and look inside your brain, you're not gonna find any thoughts there neither. So they're not real. What are thoughts but the sum of everything you've learned to this point? So you cannot create anything else but the things you've learned. You don't know any other reality but the one that you've been trained or programmed since little. Why is that important? And what that has to do with a radical transformation? When you understand that your thoughts are not real and everything that you see is something that you can't experience outside, then you leave that alone and you change your attention to something else. Meaning, when you do that, you change your attention to allow things to flow. You stop chasing the wind, you stop pushing the river, because you understand that what you see is just a movie. And you become more relaxed, and you stop being so anxious, and you stop being depressed, because you know that everything that you're seeing is programmed. It's just a movie. So if it's a movie, then and your thoughts are not real, and every thought that you have to explain anything, no matter what it is, it could be physics, it could be quantum physics, it could be UFOs, it could be brain surgery, it could be something simple like how the squirrel walks. No matter what it is, you're using a thought to explain another thought. I find amazing that we tend to talk about consciousness. What is consciousness? Is there such thing as consciousness? But we don't seem to realize that we're using thought to explain thought. It makes no sense. It's like that symbol with the snake eating its tail. It makes no sense. We go nowhere. You cannot use a tool to explain the tool. That makes absolutely no sense. And this is something that we tend to do. It's an explanation with no response, with no answer. So it's like every time we ask a question, the answer to the question is in the question. Because you cannot ask a question without the information to ask a question. Hope I'm making sense. If not, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna let me know and we can start the discussion respectfully. So once you come to understand that, you learn to allow things to move, allow things to move. We talk a lot about let go and letting go. How do you let go? You let go by accepting. You allow. I don't mean that you people are gonna step all over you and you're gonna accept that and they say no. I don't mean that. I mean not to fight yourself because something is happening right now. And most of the time we fight ourselves is because something might happen in the future. It's nothing necessarily that is happening right now. Usually. Not all the time, but usually. So you learn that. You learn that. Understand your thoughts are not real. Understand that everything that your thought is telling you are things that you've learned. You want to change the way you're thinking? Then learn something new. Learn something differently. We cannot have free will because we don't even know what's happening with the amount of connection that is happening in the brain. Scientists say that we have, I don't know how many billions of neuronal connections in the brain. We don't have a way physically to understand that and to say, okay, I'm going to make this connection now, so this will happen. We don't know any of that. We don't have a way of saying in 10 seconds, this is what I'm going to think in 10 seconds. We don't have a way of doing that. So there's no free will. So we're going to stop all that discussion. Understand that your thoughts are not real. Yes? Maybe we are the ones that are backwards, not the situation in the world. Maybe by paying attention to that, you say, okay, yeah, maybe this dude is into something, and you start thinking, okay, I'm gonna think about it, meditate on it, maybe. And it's like meditation. Why do you meditate? We tend to meditate because it is said that we can get enlightened. And I always say, look at the Indians. All that meditation stuff came from over there. You see how they live? Is it working for them? They invented this shit. Is it working for them? No. What makes you think it's gonna work for you? Granted, I meditate, but I don't do it because I wanna reach nirvana or I wanna become enlightened. I just do it because I like to be in silence for a little bit. That's the only reason I do it. So now, I'm gonna invite you to think about this conversation. I'm gonna invite you to ask questions and to open the discussion and to realize that, it don't matter how you put it, your thoughts are not real. And you can't chase the wind and you can't push the river. So the best thing that you can do is just accept. Free yourself from that, accept it, and your life is gonna be much better. I promise. So let's continue until lambs become lions. I shall see you on the next one. Bye.